What is going down, everyone? It's time for the hype, episode number 203 coming at you. Got a lot of stuff to talk about, as always. Mojobreak.com is your site for breaks. Mojobreakshop.com for your sealed wax. On today's show, we're going to talk more football. We're going to talk about running backs. A few in particular that are they worthy of investment? So we're going to debate because I already know we're on two different sides of the table when it comes to that. We're also going to talk about some early NFL headlines, some MVP candidates for MLB, and also LaMelo and Zion Prisms. There's some astounding numbers to dissect. Once again, I'm always joined by the great team we have here. We got Cody, Dan, and C-Rad. What's going on, Dan?
It's beautiful lighting. It's beautiful lighting. Look at my lights. Check them out.
Do they make your face look good?
I don't know. It's probably a little shiny. Probably. We need to have a makeup person.
That's next.
That's next. We get the lights, and then we get the makeup person, and then we get rid of the $18 fold-up table that we got from Kohl's.
That apparently a cello pack
Our
is worth more.
makeup person is going to be us going on YouTube. How to apply foundation for men. That's our makeup person.
I got you, Cody. Yeah. You do me, I'll do you.
Well,
let's do it.
The great Jimmy Pardo, who you interviewed, I seen and I was like, wow, he went from one look to the other.
The man's a damn professional. That's what he is. He's a professional.
Part of the one that's in the current Ginter set, right?
That's right. Yep.
Did you pull an auto yet?
Not yet.
Have you pulled any of the coach from the Giants? No? I think you have.
Is he SP?
Not an auto, a relic, probably.
What's her name?
Alyssa Nakin?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
San Francisco Giants coach, huh?
Yeah, that is
Is that a first-year coach thing?
No, 2 years, right? 3 years?
She's been there
2 years.
Oh, 2 years, I want to say.
2 years since
since Kapler.
Kapler, yeah.
She's been there 2 years.
What does she do? Is she like just like a coach of a little bit of like everything?
Title. There are about 300 different coaches on the San Francisco Giants. It's paying off. But yeah, there's literally like 4 assistant hitting coaches. There's like 3 pitching coaches.
They have a deep
They're all over the
coaching.
Yeah.
How
Can't have
system
enough.
there?
I guess you can have as many coaches as you want in baseball.
You got special advisors. And,
Will Clark,
That's
Rob
why
Nett.
that's why they got the best
JT
record, huh?
Snow.
That's right.
That's why y'all got the best record, huh?
I don't know if we're the best anymore. I think the Rays or the Dodgers are getting pretty close.
Giants and Rays tied, I believe. Yeah.
Half a game up on the Dodgers, right? The Brewers are tough. Get ready. The Brewers are going to be, it looks like they're going to make the playoffs, but if they have a pitching staff that can go deep in a series. They can have a deep run.
Not to be one to make excuses, but the Giants did just come off of a big, long East Coast road trip. No off day in between. They've got some COVID issues, and you ran into literally 2 of probably the 4 best pitchers in all of baseball.
No, you got to win every game. Every game.
Just saying.
The season is over. This team is terrible. I want everybody to get traded. Everybody needs to get fired. The Giants should move to St. Petersburg and just go.
Montreal, they need another team.
No, St. Petersburg needs their team.
Speaking of winning games, we actually have a Mojobreak Hype Fantasy League. And I've already made the trophy for myself because I'm taking it because I am a fantasy football genius. But there is 3 spots still available for the league, so it's going to include us as well as some of you listeners as well. There's 3 spots left. If you're interested in joining, make sure you join us at the Fans of Mojobreak on Facebook. It'll have all the details, so you should just join it anyways because there's always some cool stuff going on at the Fans of Mojobreak. And you'll get all the details for the league, and you can compete against these guys because you won't be competing against me. But, there's always silver and bronze.
And don't try to take Derrick Carr in the first round because he's mine.
Don't try to take any Raider.
Ever.
Is Janikowski still on the team?
Yo.
That's your guy.
Yes, he is.
3rd round.
If you guys leave Derrick Carr in the first round, you are just leaving money on the table.
C-Rad's going to be the first guy to ever try to draft every roster spot to be a Raider.
At least you know your
No. I'm not
week.
crazy. I
mean, there's going to be one bye week. Going to be really tough. You're just going to have to just be like, sorry, I'm going to lose that week.
I'm not crazy. I'm just trying to get the couple of the skill guys on the team and then move on to like a real,
All right. So Derrick Carr in the first round, Darren Waller in the second. No, Josh Jacobs.
I'm actually thinking about taking Josh Jacobs first, actually.
Oh yeah, you'll get him first. You'll actually get Derek Carr. I don't know, maybe the 14th or 15th round.
What other running back is better than Josh Jacobs in the NFL right now?
I think we're gonna get to some of them today. Trey Sermon.
That's
a
better. Perfect segue right there.
bro.
Well, on the real, though, where would you guys, and I'll ask Cody and Dan here, where would you guys rank Derrick Carr on your fantasy quarterback list?
Like 18 or 20.
Rip.
Yeah, that feels right. I'm sorry, C-Rad.
Would you rather draft Trey Lance or Derrick Carr?
I would rather go Derrick Carr.
Derek Carr.
Don't
Derrick
draft
Carr.
any rookie over Derek Carr, please. I will never let you buy into one of our.
I mean,
brands.
he's
Would
not.
you take Trevor Lawrence over Derek Carr to fantasy draft?
I probably
no.
would. I probably would.
Would you take
So
Mac
sorry.
Jones over Derek Carr?
No.
I would 100% take Joe Burrow over Derek Carr.
Oh my
Yeah. Yeah. That's not even no hesitation. I'm sorry.
To be fair, though, would you draft Jimmy Garoppolo over Derek Carr?
No.
No.
Okay, so there you
No.
go.
No.
There you go.
And if it's any consolation, that super mansion that Mark Davis is building looks really cool. So there's a little Raider love. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No.
His $14 million mansion he's building in Henderson, Nevada.
Wow.
It looks literally like the Death Star.
How far from the stadium is it?
I mean,
Henderson
about
like
is-
30, 35, 40 minutes.
It's basically if you live in Vegas, you actually live in Henderson. I feel like
It's
Okay.
it's a suburb of
Yeah.
yeah.
He looks like a
I wonder
He
if
looks
my
like a
aunt-
Henderson guy.
I don't know what that means.
I wonder if my aunt and uncle live near around that area because they do live in Vegas.
Well,
I'm just
they're-
not sure what area.
they will find out very soon enough if they live by Mark
It's like
Davis.
an all black mansion.
all black and silver. Like
God,
it-
can you
like,
imagine how,
it
I mean, it has
literally-
AC, but I was gonna be like, can you
If
imagine how
you
hot
know
it gets?
what the Star Destroyer from Star Wars looks like, the big ship at the beginning of the movie.
But the Star Destroyer is gray,
It's-
isn't it?
Yes, but imagine that black and silver, like the front of that with the big like monolith at the top. That's what his house looks
Does he have
Nice,
a
nice.
personal barber?
Yeah, I
in
was
there
just
as
gonna
well?
ask that.
No, that's actually the one thing he said. No, I'm cutting my own hair like I've done.
He's all I got
I'm gonna
my
stay humble.
He's all I got my Lloyd Christmas bowl and I've been using this for 35 years.
I actually, believe it or not, I think there was a story about that he actually drives like 3 hours for that person to cut his hair. It's like the same person that's cut his hair
That's
for
dope.
his entire life.
That's
but-
loyalty.
It's
That's
hard to keep it
loyalty.
consistent. I got to give him that.
Well, it's a perfect segue into black because we were talking about the silver and black, but let's talk about black football that comes out Friday. I'm super excited. It's been a product that's kind of like morphed into what it is today. It was a really successful brand in 2012 with Andrew Luck, RG3, Russell Wilson.
2013.
Great product. Kind of went away for a few years, and it's came back, and they've really improved it this year. They have the you guys are familiar with the Spotlight signatures in basketball. They actually have them in black football. So those should do pretty well. I think on some of
Those
the cell
acetates look
sheets.
nice.
Yeah, the acetates look great, but on the cell sheet you see I think it's the Troy Polamalu. It's a Spotlight signature. So we'll see if that translates into football. But I'm excited because all these rookies that are all hitting at the right time. You got Trevor Lawrence starting, Mac Jones just named a starter, Trey Lance. So you've got 5 guys that are really driving these products. And then a product like this also has the vet opportunity. A lot of on-card vets. You can see the Kyler Murray. They had George Kittle on there. They had Derrick Henry. So just a really a great product that has a lot of variety that if you watch a couple cases, you're probably not going to see the same cards over and over again like you would with some other products. So we're going to be breaking that at Mojobreak.com pretty much all day Friday and all throughout the weekend. So jump in there. We got 6-box randoms. We also have pick your team style cases, and there's definitely some good teams still available. We'll be putting up more cases, so you do have a shot at the Niners. I know everybody's grabbing the Niners, Bears, Patriots,
Rams.
not the Rams. They're still available at the very, very low price. The last team that I'm thinking of, the Patriots. There's 5 teams that are going like right away.
I think it's actually going Patriots number 1 right now with
Patriots.
the news that just came out.
Right.
Mac
Right.
Jones. Actually, but talking about black, I'm going to talk to C-Rad real quick. You remember Black Gold?
I love black gold. I love black gold
You did?
in past tense because they don't make it anymore.
I know, but like, you really loved it?
Okay.
I thought
there were certain.
Remember the
There were
like the
certain
medallion
subsets.
cards?
Okay. Let me take this back. Okay, I didn't love the medallion cards, but I love the jumbo patch autos, the sizable signatures.
I remember there being a ton of multiplayer cards in
Mm-hmm.
Black Gold.
Yeah, the medallion cards gave me nightmares as a breaker. Honestly,
Yeah.
Even before I was with Mojo, when I used to break black gold, and I broke a lot of black gold. I really truly did love that product.
It was readily available back then.
Despite the medallions, but those medallions and the multiplayer medallions, like, geez, like why? Why are we doing multiplayer medallions? And they were just heavy to ship.
They were
you know
heavy
what I
to
mean?
ship. You had to do snap cases. Sometimes, like, the glue would come off, and it would just be a rattling around or just come out.
stuck in there.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah, they definitely didn't cross those ones over, but the sizable signatures can be found in black.
Yeah,
that originated in black gold.
That's one they kept. So like they tried black gold for a few years. Obviously, black went away.
Yeah.
They tried black gold, didn't work out for and then now they brought black.
But there was
gold,
also Upper Deck black.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar to Panini black.
That's
Yep.
true.
Yeah, it's black background cards have been almost as hot as shiny cards in this hobby, and
Yeah, truly.
I think this product's really going to come out at the perfect time because you got football starting next Thursday. As we seen last year, I think Mosaic football came out the day before the Thursday preseason game, and just was crazy. So I think you're going to see a little bit of that with black. So if you're able to secure teams or get into breaks now, I would definitely take advantage of that because I know the product is going up. I mean, I can't remember a rookie class where we have this many potential starters and then some guys that are just literally waiting in the wing at quarterback. And we know quarterback definitely sells the rookie cards. We're going to dive into some running backs later, but everybody's looking for the next quarterback, and there's just a lot of young talent in this year's class.
I also think that in terms of the breaking wise, I was just thinking about this myself the other day. When you get into a group break now and it's a random teams and it's a football, I understand why football is so hot this year, right? With the 5 quarterbacks, it's like you have better odds than most years, of getting a team that actually has one of those top guys, right? So most years it's like maybe 2 teams that have the top quarterback or so, 2 or 3. But this year 5 teams, so breaking wise, it makes it more exciting too. Like you have a better chance, a little bit of a better chance of getting up a good team in the random team breaks.
You're gonna always have that by week 4, week 5. You're gonna have that surprise quarterback that is not one of the top 5 picks, who may have been like a 5th rounder, 6th rounder, an undrafted free agent. Now all of a sudden he's like starting on a team.
Yep.
So get ready for that. I mean, I know there's a kid with the Colts that has been getting a little bit of playing time in preseason. I don't know if he got cut or not.
I think he got injured actually.
He got injured.
But
Cool.
Trask has a chance with
Trask,
Bucks.
Mond for the Vikings. So
Now, how do you say his first name? Keelan or is it Kellen?
yeah.
Because I've been saying it both ways on the
I think
stream.
it's Kellen, if I had to guess.
I've been saying Kellen.
Yeah, I think you guys are right.
It's spelled like Kellen Winslow, which we probably shouldn't bring his name into the show, but
No,
Kellen Winslow
that-
Senior.
yeah,
we'll talk
that's-
about.
Hall of Famer.
Not the other one, but I think it's spelled the same way as those guys. So I would go with Kellen, but let's wait until they announce his name. Maybe it's like something not even close to what we're saying.
Who is the quarterback?
Kellen
Clemens?
Kellen Clemens. Yep, from the Jets. So. Yep, so check it out, Mojobreak.com. We probably will have some in the shop, very limited quantity in the shop as well, but you can also pre-sell on MojobreakShop.com if you want your box. And we're going to look right into some of these Patriot quarterbacks. We were just talking about Mac Jones, and we can kind of look at his predecessor there with Cam Newton, who's now been cut. And Cam Newton's cards are dropping, Mac Jones obviously going up. It's just crazy how this hobby. The guy really hasn't played an NFL game yet, but he's announced a starter, and just people flock to grab his cards. Dan, do you think Mac Jones is the real deal?
I think if you go back on the tape last week, I was talking about Mac Jones. So I think he is the real deal. I think he's in the correct system. If you can't succeed in Belichick's system, I don't know if you can succeed anywhere.
Yeah.
But I see you got a little Cam Newton there. I just want to say Cam Newton, in the way of the hobby, his market, has been an absolute roller coaster ride since 2011. He won an MVP, went to a Super Bowl, stuff was going to the moon. Then it plummeted. Then he was like a Patriot, and everybody's like, "Here we go." And then
Won his first game, I think.
His
or
stuff,
first couple
his stuff
games were good.
early last year was like again on the peak. It was rising. It was actually going for as much as it was going for when like he was going to the Super Bowl, and now it's like plummeting again. So I'm asking you, Doug, does Cam Newton have a chance to latch onto another team and have another peak to his cards?
I mean, we were talking about prior to the start of the show. Me and Cody were talking about the fact that maybe he goes to the Texans if the Deshaun Watson thing festers. I mean, similar playing styles with the running style quarterback. I'm just not sure he ever like really recovered from the injuries he had in Carolina. I think Carolina must have seen something because it seemed like they kind of pushed him out the door. So it's either one of two things: either he's just a horrible like locker room guy, or he's just hard to get along with players, or there's some injury issues, because it just seems like teams are really just willing to just pass on him right away. I mean, from a guy that was an MVP, going to a Super Bowl, having just amazing stats for 3 or 4 years, being almost close to being the face of football, and then just kind of being just cut. Not even like a backup role for the Patriots, just cut.
He had some really, really good games with the Patriots, though.
Yeah.
He also was a little banged up, but there was a couple weeks there where you can look at the Patriots and you're like, he stays healthy, they're a contender.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a place in my heart, though, because we started breaking around 2010, but we missed that football rookie year. So that was the year that it was Sam Bradford, Tim Tebow, Rob Gronkowski, and then we kind of fully went right into the 2011 football season, and it was the Topps Rising Rookies, which wasn't really low. It didn't have a lot of logos, but it was just Cam Newton fever at that point. And you had Julio Jones, and you had a lot of other quarterbacks that didn't wind up making it, like Jake Locker, Andy Dalton. But Cam Newton was driving all of those products, so it was fond memories of breaking at our kitchen table and breaking 2011 product and getting super excited to pull Cam Newton because that's the guy you wanted. And so he definitely holds a place in my heart in terms of this hobby.
I remember booming up some Andy Daltons.
Yeah. Some Jake Locker and Blaine Gabbert as
well.
Blaine
Gabbert, that was a boom.
If you look at that class,
they're still going pretty strong.
In terms of receivers, you have A.J. Green and Julio Jones. But
Dalton's starting.
Dalton's starting. Blaine
Gabbert's got a ring. Don't forget.
That's right.
Where is Andy Dalton?
Chicago.
Yeah,
He's starting instead of Fields in week 1.
Why?
I think they probably feel like Fields is not quite not there yet.
But Andy Dalton is.
Yeah.
And I think I saw David Carr actually say something like it would be like malpractice to put Justin Fields behind that Bears offensive line.
Uh-oh.
It's not good.
Sorry, Andy.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen the famous YouTube video of the helmet flying off from Fields, so I kind of contend to see that.
And this is tough because that wasn't their starting offensive line. So if their starting offensive line's bad, they had some real stones to put him behind the backup offensive line because those are the guys who are not able to make the first team. So that's scary.
That's just the nature of the game for rookie quarterbacks, right? You're going to be put in the fire majority of the time. So if they're looking out for him, they want to see how it goes first with Dalton. Then I guess more power to them. But I feel like you let them sink or swim out there with these rookie quarterbacks sometimes, right? Or majority of the times that's what they have them do.
I think the Bears were like middle of the pack, right? They were close to making the playoffs. They were probably like 7-9. Somewhere around there, mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they obviously were not one player away, and that's what we talk about all the time. If you have a high pick, unless you made a trade the previous year for that pick, you probably have a pretty bad offensive line. You probably have a pretty bad defensive line, because if you had a good offensive line, you probably would have been competitive.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why you get a top pick.
And then going back to Cam Newton real quick, I don't know if you're going to transition in more Cam Newton, but I think in terms of the outlook of his cards in the hobby, it's like, what do you believe? Do you believe he's going to be where does he stand in terms of stats of overall quarterback careers, right? And then do you think he's going to be
probably not a Hall of Famer?
No.
That's what I was going to say.
He's probably not a Hall of Famer, but do I think there's an opportunity for him to back up somebody on a good team, throw team, Minnesota? Let's say Minnesota is going to be pretty good. Kirk Cousins gets hurt. They don't want to start their rookie, so they go out and get a guy like Cam Newton. Cam Newton has been in the playoffs before. He's been to the Super Bowl before. He can take that team, and they can have a pretty long run into the playoffs.
Sure.
If you're buying Cam Newton's cards right now at the all-time, like it's got to be an all-time low for his cards right now.
No, I mean, believe it or not, I think when he was kind of not playing, because I remember buying one for $200. The same card that we're showing on here, one sold for $2,400, then another one sold for $1,175. I remember buying one, I think, right during the Panther season. The Panther season where he didn't really play, and it was. I think I bought it for like $200.
That can't be $1,100 right now.
Yeah, August 29th.
That was the most recent sale I could find. Yeah,
$1,100 for a Cam. It's
PSA
not the
10
that's not the
PSA
all-time
10
low at
contender.
all.
It is the no Riddell logo, so I don't know if that's how short printed that one is compared to the other one on the right side.
Oh.
But
Yeah, I would.
You're not noticing. I mean, the same slide that we have up here. I think it's absolutely insane that Mac Jones sold for $3,500.
Hall of Famer.
I'm seeing some crazy.
For first bout, hasn't even taken a snap yet, but I'd retire his number as a Patriot.
What is that card numbered to? I can't tell. What is that card? That purple.
I believe that's actually numbered to 3.
Okay.
And
but
what product?
certified?
So I mean, and again, certified, great product, but you never go back and go, man, like certified is a top tier product that I want to collect for that said
know,
rookie.
it's crazy.
So like
Right.
for that to sell for $3,500, I gotta
crazy.
assume like it's the quick flip mentality.
Yeah.
It's like get it, wait for the first week, they win, flip it for like maybe a $400 or $500 profit, like quick. You don't want to hold on to that. Because when the big products come out, like contenders, and I mean, even right now, I'd probably rank a black RPA above a certified.
Yeah, I mean that's not even a certified patch auto. Granted, it is numbered to 3. It just goes to show you how soon people move on. Like, do you think Herbert and Burrows are selling at the high clip now? No, because people are buying this. So it's really hard to, move into the next season and then hope for your guy to go up unless he does something extraordinary. Now, there is a chance that if he does become the next Patrick Mahomes, every single Patrick Mahomes card RPA sells for a lot.
Actually, if you look through 2017, any card of Patrick Mahomes, just a random insert, is worth hundreds, if not close to $1,000. Like everything Patrick Mahomes is worth a bunch of money.
And that's the dream,
That's
right?
the dream.
So
That's-
imagine if a certified numbered to 3 auto, same exact card popped up. That's 2017
Those
Patrick
petty.
Mahomes. Is that a 6-figure card?
Probably.
It's probably a 6-figure card.
Right. But
So-
how many of those guys have popped in the last 10 years? Yeah. One, right?
One.
We can look, and that's the thing. And
20 years.
Yeah, and 20. Well, you got Brady. Well, Brady
Almost 20 years,
close.
let's
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
yeah.
So there's been literally one guy that's paid off, and I'm not crushing dreams here. This is the fun of the hobby, but there's literally been one guy that you wish you didn't sell over the last 10 years.
Well, and I mean, it's funny if you look at the market on Mahomes and Brady. Like, we're just lumping them in together. This is Mahomes' 5th year.
Yeah,
This is his 5th year, and we're like, same guy.
pretty much.
Like, I mean, Brady has what, 6 Super Bowls?
I mean, I'm a Raider fan. I never thought he was that good anyway.
Soon to be probably soon to be
Always a
7. I
homer.
mean, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to be one of the favorites to represent
I
the
would think
NFC
so.
in
Yeah, a
the,
lot
in
of
the
them
Super
took
Bowl.
discounts, too.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
they all pretty much came back.
Yeah.
Bucks and Raiders, that sounds like a good Super
Oh.
Bowl to me.
Gruden?
I don't know if you want to relive that again. That was,
Oh, but
that was
Gruden's
rough.
on our team this time.
No,
He'll
yeah,
switch.
he'll lose this time.
So, Cody, when you were initially putting these prices together for Mac Jones, were these prices astounding to you?
No, honestly, it wasn't.
Wow.
I just think it's the perfect mix of, because you look at the dates here, if you're listening to September 1st, so literally one that sold right before we went on, and one that sold yesterday, right as he was announced as the starting quarterback. It's just that hype right as they get called the starting QB. He's a rookie. It's the Patriots. Everyone's thinking this is Brady part 2. This is Belichick's final experiment. Yeah, I can't say I'm that surprised, honestly. And the way the market is.
Jarrett Stidham sold for a lot too.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say,
Yeah.
and so did Jimmy Garoppolo.
Not to this level though.
They all were. Every Patriots fan, every
Jacoby
Patriots collector
Jacoby
is waiting
Brissett
the
sold
next-
for a lot.
Yeah, they're all waiting for
Everybody.
the next Brady. They think this
Yep.
is the guy, and I don't think there's been a more. And this is the most clear cut. Like he is the chosen one.
Brian Hoyer, not so much.
No. Wonder why.
Well, to be fair, too, this is the first quarterback they've drafted in the first round since Brady. I mean, I know
Right.
Brady was a 6th-rounder, but this is the first quarterback they've ever drafted in the first round in the last 20 or 30 years, too,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, I think the highest was Garoppolo and Brissett were close. Like, was Garoppolo a 3rd rounder,
but
2nd rounder?
Brissett was a Colt. Brissett was not. Oh yeah,
No,
he
he
was Patriot. You're right.
drafted by
right,
he was
yeah,
drafted
yeah,
by
he
Patriots. He
traded,
was
that's right.
traded to the Colts.
Yes, yeah, maybe 2nd or 3rd round.
So they were. I want to say, Garoppolo was probably a late 2nd. I want to say Brissett was probably drafted around the same. And again, I think Stidham was probably a 4th or a 5th rounder, maybe a 3rd,
Yeah.
or 4th or 5th. And his cards for a long time, for years, were like, well, he is the second coming of Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Did he make the team?
I mean,
We don't even know.
yeah, I don't even know. But I was gonna say one last thing about the those prices are surprising to me. Certified.
Yeah.
Certified.
If you would have done guess that price, I'm not even lying on that purple, I would probably say $1,500.
I think if you go back 2 weeks ago, let's say whenever Certified first came out, that is probably a $1,200 card.
I can tell you,
and then he gets announced, and it just goes up. It goes up over $2,000 like overnight.
It's that Belichick, like just Cody just said, it was a great point. It's that Belichick, like anything he touches, and now it's like a guy that's actually there. Like we speculated on Garoppolo, we speculated on Stidham,
Okay.
we speculated on Brissett. Like, but now this is a guy that he used a first round pick on, and then basically got rid of a guy that used to be an MVP and said, "This is who I'm riding with."
Ooh,
and I think
the
that that kind of endorsement is what's driving this price.
A guy that for about a month before the draft happened, we all thought might be the number 2 or 3 pick in.
And it's a team,
number 2 or 3 pick
it's
in
a
the
team
draft.
like the Niners to allow him to drop to the Patriots. Thanks, Niners. Thanks every team that drafted in the first round. Can't blame the Rams.
Trust the process.
Can't blame the Rams. We didn't have a pick in the first round. We may have went for him.
the Niners love them dual threats, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they see that division, they're like, we gotta get a dual threat to match collar, bro.
Well, the Niners are historic at picking guys from smaller colleges. It's almost like, and it was beyond the Lynch era too, where it's like when we drafted, who's the guy that went to the Raider? Alden Smith. It was like a guy that was on nobody's radar. I'm not saying Lance wasn't on people's radar, but it was just like, it almost is like we got to get a guy from a small school because then we look like we're geniuses when he pays off, right? Like, but
that's
everybody
not-
expects an Alabama quarterback to be good.
That's not always true, though. You guys went Solomon Thomas.
Yeah,
Big school.
yeah, Stanford, small school.
Do you guys right? So right now, because we know he's getting the start. Obviously, we know Lawrence is getting the start as well. Are Mac Jones and Lawrence now like the two top? If you had just have to, have to guess.
I would say right now, if I had to rank hobby wise, Mac Jones is number one. If you get into a random team and you are looking, what team are you looking forward to getting? I'm going to say the Patriots.
Interesting.
Right now.
Interesting. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is the golden boy for this whole draft. We were talking about him last year, but I can understand that the Jaguars are far away, right? And they lost their other guy, their Travis Etienne. But, you made a point about getting teams into breaks. When was the last time anybody wanted the Jaguars in a break?
And if you go like let's say the first month of the season is behind us, there's a good chance the Patriots can be 3-1.
Yeah.
There's a really good chance the Jags can be 1-3.
Yeah. I would take that bet as being
So
possible.
I mean, if Mac Jones is out there and he's winning games, the Patriots are going to be the main team in every break.
Yeah.
Well, let's transition into running backs. We want to talk about two specifically. Guys that are coming off the fantasy board, usually within the top 5, maybe even 1 and 2.
What is this picture?
I wanted to talk about Derrick Henry. And
I don't even know who the guy is on the left.
That is Jonathan Taylor.
I was going to say, Jonathan Taylor on the left, yeah. I thought you were saying on the right. Najee Harris.
No,
maybe the highest running back draft.
I was joking, but I was like, I don't even know why we put Jonathan Taylor up there.
All right.
His prices are going up. Well, we talked about him in a couple shows ago too about him versus Jerome Simpson. But Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey, I want to see where you guys are headed with. Who do you think's a better investment? Because you look, and this is interesting. So we're looking at some sales recently. So we know Prism is kind of king when it comes to Silver Prism rookies, and then we know NT kind of is what we look forward to for the high end. The NT RPA is the standard when it comes to patch autos. So this is interesting. So you got a Prism Derrick Henry PSA 10 Silver that sold August 29th for $665. You have a Christian McCaffrey, which is 2017 Silver Prism that sold for $350. Now those are both the year that they had Silver Prisms for everywhere. There was no base rookie, so every rookie is a silver those 2 years. So it's very comparable. And then I was able to find NT, which a Christian McCaffrey number to 22 sold for $764. Whether a Derrick Henry, same numbering, they're both number 22, sold for $479. So, and that kind of seems standard. So it's like the Prism Derrick Henry is selling for more than the NT Derrick Henry, which is crazy to me. I don't know how to explain that.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. It's
I don't get
beyond
it.
me.
I mean, the number one card every year, the National Treasures RPA. I get it. I get we're in like the Prism era. Prism is very, very popular, but under $500 for a Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, we're talking about Hall of Famer, right? Derrick Henry is probably on the path to being a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's got to have a few more years under his belt, but at 2,000 rushing yards last year, and
I think he has back-to-back 2,000 yard rushing.
I think it's
1,500.
1,500, but three years in a row over 1,000. Last year going over 2,000, leading the league in rushing touchdowns. He does that for 2 more years. You don't have to have that super long career to be a running back now to be considered one of the best of that era.
Yeah.
Because you look at like Edgerrin James, he got inducted into the Hall of Fame. Do you think? I mean, he actually played in an era that really wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Do you think Derrick Henry? I think is a better running back than Edgerrin James.
Yes, I agree.
Like right now, like I think if he literally retires, I think you look at his body of work and he would probably be considered a better running back.
I think we're going to look, and this is my bold prediction, I think we're going to look at Derrick Henry as the best running back in the last 20 years when his career's done. That's just me. But I also have a theory on this RPA of Christian McCaffrey versus the RPA of Derrick Henry. 17 costs a lot. That's basically my theory, is that 17 also has Mahomes in it. So if you look at like the 03, 04 stuff, all the like with LeBron, all the cards go for more because out of 03, 04. So like 17 might propel McCaffrey in that regard for that reason. But
16 is expensive too.
who do they have in 16?
Derek Carr or not? That's
Yeah,
That's
baby.
14.
Dak Prescott.
not Dak Prescott.
and
Elliott, Dak, Wentz, and Goff.
But I think you're still looking at a box that's like 2,000 or 3,000 for 16 NT compared to like I haven't looked in a while, but I think it's like 20 or 30,000 for an
How
NT.
much was the Prism McCaffrey again?
It was 350 compared to 665.
So it's actually lower.
Yeah,
So
so
then where's your theory for the Prism 2017?
I think that's the new generation of collectors that are collecting silvers, and I think they're not really going for Christian McCaffrey. They're going for the guy that just got 2,000 yards. So I don't think those guys even look at NT. Like I'm saying the retail guys are buying the silver Prisms up, and I think they're looking at this and paying more for Henry, who just had 2,000 yards, as opposed to McCaffrey. Who had a good year, but it didn't not like approaching records.
And again, we talk about this all the time. That is an era of Prism where every rookie was a silver.
16 was the same way. Every rookie was
Every
a silver?
rookie was a silver.
Okay.
And same thing with 17. So I talk about it almost in every episode. I'm like, you look at, was it 18, 19? It started in
low,
18,
dude.
right? So you get 18, you get one silver per box.
One.
Not one silver rookie.
Yeah, one
like one silver. It was like ultra.
And they didn't make T-Mall or any of that
SP.
stuff there.
Oh my God! I was looking at the pops for 2018 the other day because I was interested in buying Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, there's like 8.
There's like literally there's 13.
There's 13.
There's 13.
There's 13 PSA
13
10.
silvers.
That should be a $100,000 card.
If you had it, hit them up. They buy it for you.
Buy all of
from $100,000.
I'll give you.
Dude, I was blown away.
Do you accept Mojo Bucks? It's a new digital currency we're throwing out.
Yeah, and then I looked up
Dogecoin.
somebody else from 2018, and it was like the same thing. It was like 10 silvers, PSA 10s. I was like, God damn.
Yeah,
It's almost like it wasn't made in 2018 or something.
Well,
Do we have any silver Baker Mayfields?
No, we have an Allen ungraded. I don't know about silver, but we may have to look. I know we
guys
have an
probably
Allen
do. You guys probably
ungraded
do.
Allen. But I just bought a Kyler. I was listening to my own advice last week, and I bought a Kyler silver, and I think those PSA 10s are like 150.
150, which is still pretty low.
But that just shows you that they increased production. I think 18 was literally the lowest amount of production on silvers.
Yeah, and I think I know I mean Panini did it, and it is what it is, but it is so confusing for somebody who is coming into the hobby right now. If you just go on eBay, you're like, why in 2017 Patrick Mahomes, every single card I see is a silver.
Yeah, where's the base?
And then I'm like, oh, let me see if I can get a Baker Mayfield, and you can't find one.
No, you can't. They
Like,
pop up like once every month. Or
You're like, did they make like 8 cases of 2018 Prism?
I know we should probably heed our own advice and start spending the money on those guys because I'm sure one of them's gonna. I mean, especially the 18 with, with
Baker,
Lamar,
man.
Baker,
Josh
Allen.
I think Baker. The Browns may take that division.
I
like the Browns this year.
Yeah, me too. I didn't realize because I was like, oh, I'm gonna go buy one. I didn't realize the pop was 13. Then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna buy one because they are expensive.
13, dude. 13.
So I want to ask you guys too before we move on to the next segment, which is about somebody's underwear, which is going to be a crazy segment. Stay tuned.
Whoa.
Would you pick if you had to invest in one of these guys between
What?
these two? Which guy are you going with and why? Between Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey.
Underwear?
No, not their underwear. That's coming up next.
Oh, I was like,
It's called a cliffhanger.
I was like, if you had an opportunity,
You had an opportunity to buy Derrick Henry's underwear or no?
well, okay, Christian McCaffrey or Derrick Henry. Christian McCaffrey, my Stanford dude. Hard to go against him.
Yeah.
But man, both these guys, I think have a lot of mileage, a lot of touches in a time where you have about 5 years, a 5-year career, and Henry back-to-back years, 300 touches. McCaffrey catches, every single play. If you watch a Panthers game, you expect him to go out there and start kicking field goals and doing punts.
He does everything for that.
He does
team.
everything.
Yeah, I think his usage is like, 50% of the snaps?
At one point, I think it was like over 50% of the time he touches the ball. I don't know how you can sustain that. He got banged up a little bit, but I do still go at Christian McCaffrey because of the threat
Stanford.
of catching the ball out of the backfield. They both have big play capabilities. They can both break 80-yard touchdowns, but McCaffrey catching the ball, I'm going McCaffrey.
I like it. Dude, trust me, I respect Christian McCaffrey's toughness and his ability to do pretty much everything on offense. But I'm kind of a more old school cat. I love my power football, so Henry is built like a truck, and I got to go with my boy Derrick Henry. I think he's gonna probably go off for another 2,000 this year.
Cody.
Yeah, it's close. But I think, like, kind of going off what Sierra said, like, Derrick Henry's kind of a unicorn in modern football. But I think that he maybe gets a little more longevity because of the addition of Julio Jones. I think maybe they're going to rely on the passing game more, opens things up for him. Maybe his stats don't look as good this year. He's not going to get 2,000 yards again. But that might actually help to increase his career. So I think I'll still go Henry, but McCaffrey, yeah, gotta love the local guy. But although I will say this for McCaffrey, he basically missed almost the entire year last year, so he's going to be fresh, presumably. And Sam Darnold, that's a pretty good guy to have in your back pocket. If you can't find somebody downfield, you always got Christian McCaffrey to throw it to.
I'm 100% going Henry. I don't think I would spend a dime on Christian McCaffrey. I mean, the frame.
Okay.
It's just a small guy.
Doug has apparently never watched a football game in his life.
If you want a guy that is going to hold up over a long period of time, you got the guy that's built like a running back for like a Jim Brown, and that's Derrick Henry, and that's who I'm going after. My bold prediction is he's going to break the rushing record this year with that extra game.
Yes, sir.
I think with
That's
Julio,
right.
like what you just said
I
about
didn't even
Julio
think about that.
Jones.
So he has 400 carries this year.
Yeah. And you got to keep in mind, he's only had 2 years.
Better win the Super Bowl this year.
He's only had 2 years of over 300 carries. It's
that's too much in today's NFL.
Let's get 2,500 yards this year.
But this guy's also got the workout ethic of like a Jerry Rice. He's constantly in the weight room. You can see how much stuff he's lifting. This guy's built to last. He's built to carry a team on his back. And you don't usually have a team that has two amazing receivers. And you're not even throwing their third string, but you got A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. What do you do as a defense to not only guard against the deep ball, but then stop the running game?
That's like a three-headed monster, dude.
Right. So, I unless he gets hurt, I cannot see him not getting 2,000 yards again. And, you want to talk about favorites. The Titans are probably one of the favorites to win that the AFC. So, obviously there's teams in the way, and they got the Chiefs and stuff as well. But, I think we're going to see a Chiefs Titans AFC Championship again, and I don't know. Maybe the Titans finally get one over on them, and move on.
That's where your future bet's going, it sounds like.
Doug
will be in Vegas for the first week, and he's just going to run to the sports book and be like,
the odds probably aren't good.
Everything I got on the Titans.
I know where Doug's going with his first pick now in fantasy.
Well, I would have to have the first pick because everybody's going to pick him first. So, if it's between.
Dan, are you picking him if you get the first pick?
No. If I have the first, because I went McCaffrey, I have to go McCaffrey first pick.
Well, so here's the difference, though. In fantasy, I could see why you make a case for McCaffrey because of the catching the ball in the backfield. I'm literally talking about from a hobby standpoint for all the glitz and all the glamour and the possible record breaking. McCaffrey's not going to break any records. He's not
he could break the all-purpose yards.
But that's not the sexy record. Do you mention that? Do we talk about that on who has the all-purpose record?
They do.
It doesn't happen.
You know what they talk about every week on NFL? The yak. They always talk the yards after the catch. That is literally if you could break that record, then you're the greatest player ever. Because that's what people really want to talk about.
But the rushing record has been talked about for the last 20 years, whether it be Adrian
but
Peterson.
If you add an extra game to it, does that really is it the same record?
It may not be, but in terms of the hobby, if you're holding on to some Derrick Henry prisms or NT like we talked about, and that record happens, absolutely those cards are going up.
Yep, and I'm putting it in my title too with fire emojis.
Yeah, exactly. Rushing record champion. So, I mean, if anybody could do it, it's going to be Derrick Henry. Nobody. I mean, Adrian Peterson got really close. We haven't had anybody really knocking on the door since him. He's an old school type of runner, bringing that smash mouth football. I'm a big fan, and I think he's undervalued. I think 665 is cheap.
It is safe to say your rushing leader this year is Derrick Henry.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Like Saquon coming back off an injury, no doubt.
Their line sucks.
Elliott.
A lot of carries. A lot more carries than Derrick Henry. Same year of draft, but a lot more carries than Derrick Henry.
So just 100%. Chips all in. All in on Derrick Henry.
I'm saying it. Yeah. I mean, if there's anybody that's going to buck the trend, because we tell you guys, running backs and wide receivers don't really sell. If there's anybody that's going to buck the trend, it's Derrick Henry.
They don't. They don't.
I know.
It's sold for $700. I don't think you can get a Jake Fromm NT RPA
Who just got cut
for less than $700 right now.
Oh, they come up boy from? I just picked up some cards of his. I'm sad.
Breaking news. So yeah,
well,
I mean,
he was on the Bills, dude.
I know, but I was hoping like down the line.
You know who's back? You know who's backing up Allen?
Who?
Trubisky.
That
That
guy's weak, dude. Jake Fromm's better than that dude.
Jake Fromm. All right, so
Biscuit has his chance.
Gonna get a little weird, but Michael Jordan.
Oh God.
Michael Jordan's dirty undies are currently up for auction.
Who would do this?
At Leland's. Leland's auction has, I think, a whole closet full of Michael Jordan stuff.
How'd they get them?
Up for sale, and that's a good question. They actually got it from this guy, who you can see in the documentary, who was MJ's former security, John Michael Wozniak. So if you go to Leland's and you want to bid on any of these, they all have the Michael Wozniak collection, John Michael Wozniak collection.
Sir, why do you have Michael Jordan's
underwear? He just passed
underwear?
away, didn't he?
Did he?
This guy, I'm not sure.
I am almost positive.
That might be why.
So that might be why you see this up for auction.
And of course,
right now.
Those watching, he was the guy who did the shrug, who was playing like the game before the playing like I don't know what it was, dice or
the quarter roll against the wall.
Before the game, and he did that shrug that became like iconic. Like he became the breakout star of The Last Dance.
Yep.
It's just his collection.
Yeah. So it says, what does it say in the description there, Cody?
It said something to the effect of definitely used. Gross.
Did it say gross?
That was me. Yeah, no, I added in the gross.
Did it have fire emoji?
Yeah.
No, barf emoji.
Barf emoji.
Fire emoji.
Mask emoji.
Barf emoji. Fire emoji after the barf emoji.
Yeah. Said something like guaranteed game used.
Dude, okay, this
Guaranteed
is gonna be
game used,
this is
or
gonna
like
be
Hella
hella
used. Whatever.
Yeah, like maybe at the gym.
It's been used.
This is gonna be hella weird, and I like obviously a hardcore Michael Jordan fan is gonna buy this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this on the air, and don't flame me later, guys. If this was Shawn Michaels underwear up for auction, I would bid on it.
Ooh.
That's how much I love my idols.
Dude, it's like we're the vid times, man. You can't be getting closer to me.
I'm glad you said it. You didn't put in the jar there, but
No cap.
I have a couple questions as well, and I'm sure you guys out there do. Did they wash these? And
No.
if they did wash them, does that take away from the person that wants to bid on that?
Well, how would you? I mean, I'm assuming that how you know that they're used is the fact that they're not washed, right?
By the way,
I
the
don't- I mean-
vocabulary was shows definite use.
So I think we're all thinking the same thing.
Would it be weird to send a message to Leland and say, "Is there a curly hair around there?" Would that
think
make
this
it go
is-
for more?
I
Is there a small hair? No. It is an odd piece of memorabilia. So if you
how do you obtain those though? Like, let's say you're running a little pickup game with Jordan, or you're shooting around in the gym, and you're just like, I'm gonna hit the showers. And you're like, cool, man. You mind if I take your clothes?
Yeah, I don't know how this guy acquired them.
do you basically go, I'm just gonna put these in a bag.
Well,
he ain't gonna miss them. I got some new clothes laid out for you. I'm just gonna go ahead and I got these. I'll just throw them in the laundry, and then I'm just gonna throw them in my car instead.
Yeah, I mean, how did I mean the logical maybe that makes the most sense is maybe he changed at his house and left the clothes. That's how I'd like to think about it.
All those clothes.
No, dude.
Dude, I saw the auction you guys were looking at. Like, it had like multiple ties that were used. It had like shirts. It had like way more like than if that was the case. Jordan was getting undressed at this guy's house like all the time.
Well, he had
Or-
those.
or
He
could
did
it-
have an interesting life. So.
Or it could have been like Jordan was like, hey, I'm not gonna like he wears clothes like one and
One
done,
time.
right? So he's like, hey, I'm not gonna
Like
wear
most
these.
celebrities are.
He's like,
Get rid
I'm
of
either
them.
gonna throw these away. You can have them. You can like donate them to the Goodwill. Do whatever you want. Like, I
Exactly.
wear this stuff one time,
Exactly.
and then this guy's like,
I think that's the situation.
I'll just storm away.
Yeah,
Like,
'cause it's game.
or hey, maybe he's like, I'll just put them in my garage, and when I get to a chance to like donate them, I'll donate them. And then and I think if
Then if he did pass away,
if he
then
did pass
somebody
away,
else-
somebody basically came over and they're like, oh, he has a garage full of clothes. Oh, this is all Jordan stuff.
yeah, I'm sure
It's
there
a
might be a
gar-
story out there.
Garage full of Jordan's underwears.
But let's just say you do. You're the person that wins this. You're a big Jordan fan. Like, can you frame this and hang it up in your house? And then you got people coming over for the Sunday football, and you're like, surprise my collection right there.
Or
And they're all, what is it? You're all Jordan underwear.
If you're the kind of guy who's going to drop the current bid, I think is $605 for this, so you have to imagine it's going to get to just shy of 1,000. I would imagine.
Yeah.
If you're the kind of guy who's dropping $1,000 on underwear that's not yours, you probably are also the kind of guy who frames that underwear in your house and proudly displays it.
or if you're really into like pickup gym basketball games and you're like looking for that edge and you're like, I need to channel my inner Michael Jordan. So you put them on. You wear them. I mean, Duncan, you could be Duncan. It could
That'll be the
it could have been, you know how he said it was in the shoes? It could have been in the undies.
It's all in the undies. Now, I also know I can't remember what baseball player said this, but I think it probably applies to other athletes that a lot of them will buy underwear for games and literally just throw them in the trash.
Yeah.
I'll use it one time and be done with it. So I think that's probably also what's happening here.
Can I just go back to my previous statement?
Shawn Michaels, you're gonna redeem yourself?
Yeah. So, they wear tights, which actually they're different layers. And then what I meant is like he wear tights, right? Wrestling tights. But there's
Oh,
two
dude,
layers.
no,
There's
you
a-
don't- you
there's
don't
an
have- you don't-
underwear layer, and then there's a long
You don't
tights
know.
layer.
You don't know that.
I
don't know that.
I
Nobody
wear-
knows that.
I didn't mean his actual like.
I don't.
I didn't mean like his actual like
You
Calvin
don't,
Klein.
no, you don't
underwear.
gotta defend yourself. It's cool.
We know you're a fan.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
You want to collect underwear? That's cool. There's room for that in the hobby. But no, I mean, I mean, when I wear those underneath my shorts, I don't wear another layer. So I don't know, but that's just me. Maybe Jordan did. Maybe he had two other layers, and you're not that close. To
But again,
little MJ.
how would you? I don't think so because definite use. He had like if that was
Shows
like
definite.
if he had and plus like I don't think he's endorsed. It would be Haynes. It wouldn't be. He was a Haynes guy.
It is a Jordan brand.
It is a Jordan brand, but like
I don't know if
Was
Haynes...
he Haynes during his playing days though?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
He only became Haynes many years later, and with his bad mustache choices and everything. So
Yeah.
that's true. So we're assuming that this is like worn in his playing era.
That's my guess. Yeah.
It does have a picture that they have on Leland's. It has his name.
I think what we would have to do if we really wanted to dive
I guess
into
we're
it,
gonna have to buy them.
we could probably image match those exact like models and font of Jordan branded underwear and see when did they actually come out to give you an idea of what era
Some
they're
investigative reporting right there.
Yeah,
man.
because I mean,
That's good.
since I am the highest bid at 605, I'd probably want to have a pretty good idea of what era I'm getting. Oh, I'm sorry.
What if Brian Gray buys these and starts to cut them up, and put them into some Leaf cards? Would that be frowned upon? Because you have a logo man on there too. You have the logo man.
You have to be a hardcore fan.
Is there a segment where I don't want to jump the gun? Are we going to be talking about other items?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just
So there is some stuff through the history. I'll let Cody go over these.
So these are some of the weirdest sports collectibles I could find, and I do. And C-Rad, you already let us know. Yes, I absolutely would buy a sort of gross, weird thing with the Shawn Michaels stuff. But here are some other ones. Andre Agassi's ponytail. All we found out is that it sold for thousands. We don't know the exact value. Apparently, the owner of Planet Hollywood bought it, and I don't know if it's on
To
display.
put it on a wax.
What's that?
To probably put it on a wax.
Oh yeah, that's probably it.
To make it realistic.
Yep. A signed urinal straight from the Pontiac Dome, signed by Barry Sanders, sold on eBay for $3,000.
shows game use.
Definite
game use.
Comes with a kidney stone.
Yeah, and then kind of like the king of the kind of gross sports collectibles, Kurt Schilling's bloody sock from, I believe it was Game 6 of the ALCS, sold for $92,613.
If you got it, so we already know C-Rad. C-Rad's already said he has his grail. It's the Shawn Michaels underwear, but
from the tights though.
Where you do you, man. Out of these three, Doug, where are you going? Where are you putting your money at?
I should mention the Andre Agassi ponytail. The fact that it even sold for thousands, because remember years later he's like, "Oh yeah, that hair, that was a wig. That wasn't real."
God.
So it's not even his hair. It's
Yeah, because I don't really remember him with hair.
when he first came up in the 80s, it was like his thing was the hair.
Okay.
He had the highlights.
There was
the
it
And
was
it
like
was
the
all
era of, like,
wigs?
he was like
it was a wig apparently.
spokesperson for, was it Canon?
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, it was like flowing hair
That's
everywhere.
big deal.
That's right.
Yeah.
I wasn't big into tennis. I think the Barry Sanders is weird, and that just shows you how I've met Barry Sanders. That just shows you how nice of a guy Barry Sanders is. 'Cause I don't think there's very many athletes that would sign a urinal.
I for $3,000, I don't know how much urinals cost, but that urinal had to be at least. It had to be at least $500, right?
To purchase
a urinal.
I don't think that you. I don't know. Maybe we can find this on the internet too, because you can find everything on the internet. Do you think the Pontiac Dome like auctioned off urinals? I almost feel like it was a guy that maybe was like in charge of like taking everything down. Like was like, hey, maybe I'll keep this. Like I don't think you'd go on.
Man,
like,
if I'm like taking apart a stadium, and that's I'm gonna be like, they're like, take whatever you want. I'm not gonna be walking out with a porcelain like urinal and being like, this is my pick.
By the way, guys, a similar urinal, no Barry Sanders autograph on it, retails at Home Depot for about $282.
Yeah, I mean you could repurpose it.
it would be pretty cool to have a urinal in your house, though.
A man cave. Imagine you have the greatest Lions man cave ever. Then got people could take a piss while like seeing like, oh, you got Barry Sanders to sign this. Hell yeah, bro.
I think that would be the only appropriate usage
Yeah.
for the urinal, because I mean you can't hang it up like.
Well, you got to be able to people to be able to see the autograph.
Yeah.
right? 'Cause it's on the
No,
side,
Yeah,
you know?
you would need to have like a man cave and be like, hey, go check out my my bathroom, and they're just like, dude, you got a urinal, dude, you got like the Barry Sanders auto on the urinal.
I said before the show, maybe I buy one of the pee troughs from Candlestick Park if it's signed by Jerry Rice or
Okay.
Will Clark or whatever.
There's
maybe,
that
maybe.
we have to say, right? I mean, old stadiums are pretty much they're all pretty much gone
Pretty much.
anyway.
There's maybe one.
There
Coliseum
there
that's
can't
hanging
be
on.
many like urinal troughs around, right?
No.
There ain't nothing more awkward than like trying to squeeze into a urinal trough.
I think the Oakland Coliseum might have a couple in.
And I will say there is no urinal trough at Shoreline Amphitheater in Mountain View. There is no urinal trough, but what there is a circular hand washing station that at certain shows does turn into a urinal.
Yep.
And there will be a circle of gentlemen who are all pissing into the hand washing station.
Do you
Mostly for metal shows and sometimes for country shows.
Can you imagine how many times that urinal's been used? You'd be like, hey, yeah,
It
go
actually-
ahead and use my urinal. It's been used 7 billion times.
I'm gonna say that it is
history.
it is super clean. Like that picture looks pretty like somebody really cleaned it.
It actually looks like there's water in the bottom of it.
It does, but there's no
There's no top to it.
no
so
top to it, so I don't even know.
Maybe it's one of those new low water
Low flow
It's
urinal.
history.
It's a piece of history. But the bloody sock too. How do you display that? You frame that up and just
That's the one out of those three. That's the one that I buy. It's
a piece of
it's
history.
weird.
It's an iconic moment.
But and it definitely like is an era that I remember well. So I would definitely go with that. And that there was like so much controversy based on that he did it himself. It was like it was a ploy. It was just to motivate the team. So
Talk to Yankee fans. They'll just say he just grabbed a couple of Heinz ketchup packets.
Yep.
That's ketchup. That ain't blood.
Hey, well, it's weird. Like, it's weird for a cut to be right there. Like, I mean, how much would that really hamper his pitching ability?
well, he did have a surgery there.
so that was like that's his tendon ripping out. That's a tendon ripping
it
out
was
of
like
his body.
I believe it was the stitches maybe had came loose during the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say if I saw that, I'd be like, like obviously this is like cutting him right there. Where
I
the
go
shoe
with
is.
the Yankee fans.
Ketchup.
Catch up.
Well,
Ketchup,
I think
bro.
this is a perfect giveaway topic here. I want to know what is the weirdest collectible that you guys have ran across, and we'll be giving out, and we will name the other winner as well. We'll be giving out a box of 2021 Leaf Flash football. So you got to comment on the video here below and say what is the worst or what's the weirdest sports collectible that you've ever run across, or that you may have in your collection. And I think that'll be pretty fun to read these comments.
If
to see what people come up with.
basically pulled out the giveaway and you're like, our giveaway is gonna be an original urinal trough from the Candlestick Park,
Yeah.
Don't you dare give that away.
That's Cody's Grail.
signed by Cody. Couldn't get Jerry Rice.
Cody's Grail. Couldn't get Jerry. Was busy signing other urinals. All right, so and then we have a winner from last week as well, which is $150 in group break credits. You can get in on some black on our website, which is dropping this Friday. There's also breaks going on every day, but if you want to get on the newest football hype, you can go on Mojobreak.com and use your credit or use your dollars for Panini Black on Friday.
Winner is Anthony Woodby. Anthony Woodby is our winner. Make sure to hit us up, Mojobreak.com. Go to the Contact Us form and let us know that you won. Put in your mailing info. We'll send it your prize right away. Congrats, Anthony.
And actually include your email because we'll send you a code for this one. But, yeah, we will definitely need your address for shipping you the cards. Hopefully you hit something big. I want to do we got a couple more segments. I know we're getting a little short on time here, but this one's good for C-Rad before he has to go get into a break here. So I was running across this LaMelo Ball, and we're looking at prisms here. We're looking at rookie year prisms. A recent PSA 10 LaMelo Ball, and there's a few of them that have been selling at this price, $980 for a base prism of LaMelo Ball, compared to Zion, who base PSA 10, $370. So 3 times the amount on LaMelo Ball. Then you go look at the raw cards, which is in the next slide, and LaMelo's raw card sells for $65.
Makes sense.
And the Zion Raw sells for $100.
I think we all know the answer here.
We know the answer here, but it's kind of more of a buyer beware. Don't fall victim to the low pop report on the PSA LaMelos right now, because I guarantee you there's probably double compared to the Zions, or if not, 1.5 times the amount. So people are paying premiums just to hold the PSA slab right now. And don't fall victim to it. If you're selling it, good for you for selling it, because it's a minimum of $300 to get that thing.
I was going to say, I'm like, you're paying. So when when people were grading Zions, they were grading Zions, and they were probably doing bulk submissions and breaking it down to where like it was probably less than $20, right?
Yeah.
So you have to put a premium currently on the LaMelo Balls because it costs $300.
Right.
It was $300 to get that card graded. So the funny thing is that the Zion graded it sells for $300. So literally the price that it costs to get your LaMelo graded is what the price that the Zion sells for.
Yeah.
Yep.
So just wait it out. Patience is virtue in this situation, assuming that PSA opens up within the year. It may be a good time to buy the LaMelo Ball Raws. And then this is just a buy it now or best offer. I've seen some of them sell at auction for $40. I mean, you think about you could. I mean, you're not guaranteed a 10. We know how hard it is to get, but you could buy a card for $40 and sell it for $1,000. That $300. I mean, I'm sure more people are trying this. I mean, if you get a 9, that probably nixes the theory, but I think there's a population report of about 150-ish right now on the PSA 10 base.
Yeah, don't be fooled by that.
Don't be fooled. There's going to be, in 2 years from now, there's going to be 10,000. So,
well, if PSA ever catches up, I think PSA is trying to avoid base cards being sent in for submission. I don't know if we ever go back to a time where you can do a bulk submission
Under
and
like 50?
it being under $50.
yeah.
Why? If I'm PSA, I never go back to that. I've already set the bar at 300, and we still haven't been able to catch up. People are still sending in cards constantly at $300.
Yep.
I would probably never go below $300 again.
And you know, who knows what the future holds. There's you know, obviously our hobby's still growing, and there's more people that just want to like come in and they're like, oh, let me just send everything, like what happened last year. Let me just send everything again. Like they're probably trying to avoid that by any cost.
Yeah, we'll never go back. Group submissions, bulk submissions, probably not a thing anymore.
And I think the last thing I want to say is this is another proof here in the pudding that you don't hold on to rookies beyond their rookie year, right? I mean, every year it seems like the new guy tops the old guy, and the old guy doesn't go up. And Zion had a good year.
And I still like Zion more than LaMelo, and I like LaMelo too, by the way. But I like Zion more still.
Yep.
So.
And before we let you go, C-Rad, our last segment is which MVP candidate in baseball is the best long-term investments out of Bryce Harper, Fernando Tatis, Shohei Ohtani, and Mr. Vlad Guerrero Jr. Who's your pick?
My pick is gonna be Japan. Shohei Ohtani.
Long term?
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Dan.
You're speaking.
I love it.
Dan would probably buy the spandex.
So
from Shohei.
so cliche, but my boy Shohei, man.
I love it.
Yeah, I can't see beyond this year for Shohei personally, but Tatis for me.
Yeah. You know how I feel about Shohei. The greatest player maybe ever to do it. I don't know. Maybe one of the greatest year in history, at least in like the last 100 years.
Yeah.
Historic.
Well,
But
Barry Bonds had better years, but I mean it's
Barry Bonds did terrible as a pitcher. Can't debate it. He actually the one knock on Barry is that Barry didn't have a great arm anyway. He was great at playing the angle in the outfield.
Yeah.
He compensated for his lack of arm. But as far as longevity, I gotta go Fernando Tatis.
Yeah.
I can't go. I think Shohei is going to be amazing. What he's doing right now is something that we're probably never going to see again. I don't think he can keep it up for like 3 years.
Yeah, and also, if we're talking about, because baseball is especially baseball with sports cards in the hobby, it's like if you're thinking long term, you think of guys that like are changing the sport, right? Like, and Shohei has got to be one of those guys. He's got to be.
But like if I'm a GM, I'm not going around looking for the next Shohei.
No, but 50 years from now, people will be like, remember that kid Shohei that did both and he did it at a high level for a long time?
But I think in order to
and his cards,
I think if we look at it in 10 years, is Shohei going to be a dominant hitter and a dominant pitcher? Probably not.
No, but I just meant his cards wise as a long-term investment.
I think we're going to look back in 10, 20, 30, 40 years and be like, that 2021 season that Shohei did goes down in history as one of the greatest seasons in history.
And we don't know how many more new eyeballs he's bringing in, too. I mean, he could be transcending baseball in that regard, especially overseas baseball, right? I mean, there are a lot of people. I mean, you look at the Angels games, you've seen the people that are traveling from Japan to watch, Shohei play live.
And look how diehard the Ichiro fans are.
Yeah, and Shohei is, and again, you'd want to say it's like a copycat league, but every GM is looking for the next Shohei. I don't think that exists. I think Shohei is a unicorn. He is like, there's one guy who can do that. Brendan McKay, they were talking about him maybe being a two-way player.
Hunter Green too.
Hunter Green, talking about him maybe being a two-way player. If I'm a GM, you can't even. Of course, you would love to have it, but you can't even go out of your way to be like, well, we're going to look for the next Shohei.
Right.
Impossible.
You know, it's funny looking at this list. The old man here is Bryce Harper. It's kind of funny that he was the phenom and now he's the cagey veteran MVP candidate. But in terms of pricing on cards, Bryce Harper is by far the cheapest at this point. So I mean, maybe not necessarily best long term, but maybe this year you could make a case that if you buy a Bryce Harper first Bowman, I know he has a couple different ones that, and I think they're really cheap. That if he goes anywhere in the playoffs or gets that MVP, maybe get a little bit of a bump. I mean, Vladdy and Tatis prices are up there, and of course Shohei's are never been higher.
The thing with Harper is his consistency year in and year out hasn't been there.
Yeah,
he's had MVP years, then he's had some pretty bad years, like mediocre years.
Roll the tape. No. Bryce Harper, best long-term investment of all four of these guys.
That's your pick?
I will go. Yes, he's my pick. Harper. Because I think right now, 5 more years at the consistency he's going at, and I think he's more consistent than people believe he is. Or I think because he had such an incredible year at such a young age that I think our standards got skewed. But he's been performing at an all-star level basically every year since.
I don't think he's been hurt really either.
He hasn't really been hurt. He's been mostly healthy. He's having right now. I think he is the MVP of the National League, which would give him 2 before 30, which is not many guys do that.
Yeah,
and I think if he performs at the level he's performing at right now for 4 or 5 more years, which he's gonna be 29 next year, there's no reason to think he can't. He is a guaranteed Hall of Fame.
Oh,
guaranteed.
I mean, I'm a big Bryce fan. I've said that for a long time. For a long time, I was like, Bryce Harper is the face of baseball. For a long time. I don't agree with that now. It's Shohei.
Yeah,
Shohei is the
you
face
did.
of
You
baseball.
were holding that candle a couple years back.
Yeah, and when he was hitting like 250, 260, I was like, he's still the face of baseball. I gotta wear it. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't know. I think he has to get a championship.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think if
What do you mean? Championships don't matter in the baseball for hobby. Buster Posey has 3. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares.
Yeah, it would matter if Bryce Harper got one.
Yeah,
Trout,
because
the best-selling guy is Trout. He doesn't have one.
But you know what would happen is that Harper would then make the late night TV rounds. He'd be all over the place. He's the type of personality that if he did win, he's vaulted to the top of Major League Baseball again. We're all remembering. And also, it's this culmination of he was the young phenom, and he finally wins. He left the team, and that team won without him. And do it in Philadelphia, where the fans will just worship the ground you walk on for the rest of your life if you win a title.
Yeah.
Could that be a knock? Could that be a knock on Buster Posey? Is that he is just not into doing a lot of the media stuff and never was?
Yeah, could be.
He'll do He'll do a little Toyota commercial here and there, and
But you could also be a knock on Bryce Harper. There's a lot of people that don't like Bryce Harper for how he's conducted his interviews. Clown question, bro, and
But we all talk about it.
We all talk about it exactly. But I think in a hobby, it creates some kind of like. I hate that d-bag.
Isn't that what we want from baseball players now? Don't we
do.
want more of a personality?
We
Don't
do.
we want like guys to sit there and do a bat flip and stare at their 450-foot home run?
I don't know, but you look at the best-selling guy over the last 10 years, and it's Trout. And is Trout really that exciting as an interview?
Oh, I thought you meant as a baseball player.
Oh, as a
Like,
baseball
yeah,
player,
he's pretty
absolutely,
exciting.
absolutely. But I mean, like I said, you have Buster Posey.
Yeah,
Posey and Mike Trout are more similar than you think.
I actually the playoff run for the Eagles. You see Mike Trout sitting there hanging out, like watching the game with Phillies uni on, getting way into it. Like you wouldn't see that from Buster Posey. Buster Posey's like super mild mannered, like
Yeah, he probably doesn't even watch a baseball game when he's not playing baseball.
and he does everything right. Like, and that's also the thing. If you watch a Buster Posey interview, regardless if like the Giants are on a 10-game skid or they're a 10-game winning streak, or if they've just won the World Series, it's business as usual. It's like there's no ultimate highs, there's no ultimate lows.
Yeah.
And I think people look at that and they're just like, well, he's cool.
I'm just convinced. I'm honestly, we talk about this. We probably talked about this for like 5 years now. I'm convinced that baseball World Series championships do not matter in the hobby of baseball cards. It does not matter. Nobody cares. I mean, it feels like that's the only sport that it doesn't matter.
That's kind of crazy. Huh?
Because the NBA, it absolutely matters, and NFL, it absolutely matters.
there's a lot.
But with baseball, does not matter.
It helps, but it doesn't matter as much as the other sports.
Then what is it then? Because it isn't MVPs. It's not Gold Gloves.
It's moments. It's big moments. It's
it must
far
be
home
just-
runs. It's records like a guy a guy doing something that Shohei Ohtani's doing. A guy that's like what Tatis was doing last year with some of those running all the way out to center field, making a diving catch that makes SportsCenter. I think that's what matters, and people look at numbers for that specific moment. It's like this guy's hitting 350. I need to buy his card right now. Not that he won a World Series champion 2 years ago. It doesn't matter.
I think with we go to Aaron Judge a couple years ago, hottest name in the hobby, and that was because not only did he hit home runs, he hit like 480-foot home runs.
Yeah.
It's like not enough you can hit 40 home runs, but if all those home runs barely clear the fence, the hobby is going to go after the guy who hits less home runs, but they're like moonshots.
Yeah.
They're just absolutely destroyed.
You can actually put Chris Bryant, who's ironically a Giant now, in the same category as Buster Posey. Not as many accolades as Buster Posey, but Rookie of the Year. I believe did Bryant win an MVP?
MVP 2016.
And won a World Series title? His cards are worth half as much as Aaron Judge. They're worth a quarter of Shohei Ohtani. They're worth a tenth of Tatis. But this is a guy that has the hardware already. So it just shows you that sometimes it doesn't matter. It's just the hobby seems to gravitate to the guys that they want to gravitate towards.
I'm gonna before we close it up, I'm actually gonna say another guy who gets absolutely, and he had a milestone I think this week or last week, and he gets no hobby love. Aroldis Chapman just had his 300 save. Dominating closer, Yankees, gets no hobby love.
Won a World Series with the Cubs.
Won a World Series with the Cubs. Gets no hobby love whatsoever. Probably going to go into the Hall of Fame. And he threw, when he came up, he was throwing like 101, 102 on, almost unhittable.
But people give Mariano love.
Yeah, so
He's probably the closest thing to Mariano Rivera.
I haven't even checked, but you can probably go on eBay and buy an Aroldis Chapman auto for under $50.
Probably.
I thought you were going to say Joey Votto there for a second.
No,
I was like, yes, 100% agree, Joey. Oh,
No. Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah, Joey Votto, another guy
Joey
gets
Votto,
no
yeah.
love.
It's because he always performs in the second half. So a lot of fans, they watch the All-Star game, and they go, all right, I have to pay as close attention to player stats, but Votto always just goes off in the second half.
You know who took and he's had some injury issues, and I don't know what his hobby market is doing right now, but Cody Bellinger is having
big hit.
a
Yeah.
very, very, very bad season for being basically labeled as probably one of the 5 best players in the league. he has taken a significant backseat to most of the people on his team.
Not the best Cody anymore.
Not the best Cody. Not the best.
Yeah. Well, that does it for Hype 203, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe here on YouTube, as well as if you're listening on Spotify or any of the iTunes or anywhere you listen to podcasts. If you're listening, make sure you hit that subscribe. We do this thing weekly, so we'll have 204 coming up for you next week. And once again, go to Mojobreak.com. We got NFL Black. We got more Prism basketball. We got more National Treasures basketball. We're breaking just about everything. 7 days a week, scheduled, guaranteed to fill, so check that out. We're going to have a big Super Bowl mixer coming up next week. I just purchased some 14 stuff, some 12, some 11. So we're going to have a gigantic Friday Super did I say Super Bowl?
You said Super Bowl.
I did say Super
That's
Bowl.
why I'm
because it's so gigantic, I'm lumping it into a Super Bowl mixer.
I'm looking. I'm all, what month is it?
Start of the season. I'm so excited. I'm thinking Super Bowl
Raiders,
already.
Buccaneers, let's go.
So a big preseason kickoff. Gigantic break.
Preseason kickoff or just regular kickoff?
Regular season kickoff.
Regular season kickoff.
Yep. So
There
we'll be
we
doing
go.
that.
Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, let's just end the show before I say something else wrong. But also follow us on Twitter at MojobreakM and at Mojobreak_com for Mojobreak.com. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.